A few weeks ago, Next Level Racing released an update to one of my favorite things I've added to my sim rig, the HF8 haptic pad with the HF8 Pro. Now, when they reached out to offer to send me one, I could not refuse, but full disclosure, they did send it to me for free for purposes of this review video. They do not get any editorial control over what I say here, and they don't get to see this ahead of time, but I do just want to give you that heads up and disclaimer. If you decide to purchase something from Next Level Racing after watching this video, you can use the discount code Jeffrey24 at checkout. If you're in the United States of America, that works for the HF8, the HF8 Pro, or any Next Level Racing item from their website. All right, now let's get into it. So the HF8 Pro carries over all of the great stuff that you get from the HF8 haptic pad. You have 8 haptic feedback motors, 4 in the seat and 4 in the back, and they're all individually controllable, so you can get super granular force feedback. Now, the way I've been using the HF8 is for things like tire lockups. So if my front right tire locks up, then the front right motor in the seat vibrates, letting me know that when I hit a curb on the left side or the right side, that side of the seat vibrates to let me know that I'm hitting my apex. If I hit a bump, I get a little jostle. If I pull a shift, I get some like feedback in my back to give me some immersion. If I touch grass, I get some vibration to let me know I'm going a little bit too wide. And so you get this extra sense of information with all these different haptic feedback sensors. So you get some extra immersion, but you're also getting extra information to help you correct your driving. Now, to control these motors, you have 2 options. You have USB mode, which is controlled by the HFS software from Next Level Racing, or SimHub, if you want to use SimHub as well. I personally have been using SimHub because I already run SimHub for other things, and I don't want to run an extra piece of software if I don't have to, but both pieces of software work very well, and they support a wide range of sim titles. If you can't run on PC, if you're running on a game system, or if your title isn't supported, then you can use the audio mode, which could also work for things like watching movies on your PC. It basically takes the sound output from your PC and turns it into vibrations. The other thing that carried over that I really love is just how simple and easy this thing is to add to the sim rig and install. There are a couple straps that will hold it onto your bucket seat if you have a bucket seat like I do, or it will hold it onto your office chair if you use like a wheel stand or some other chair, or even you can just slap it on your couch without strapping it on there. But it's super easy to install. You plug it into the wall, you plug it into the device that you want to get output from, and you put it down on whatever surface you want to sit on, and you're good to go. The external controllers stayed the same. There's a knob and a button on it. You can control the volume of output that you're getting from the device still. They also kept this really nice feature of the power block, which is a really easy system for changing out the wall plugs depending on where you are in the world. You just press a little button, twist, and swap out your power plug. It's not something that you're going to need a lot, but it's just nice that you get that extra little bit of detail. So all of the great things that I love about the HF8 are in the HF8 Pro. There are 3 key upgrade areas on the HF8 Pro. The first thing is that the motors are more powerful, and you can see this just from looking at the numbers on the power block. They're outputting more power to the haptic feedback motors to give you more vibration. For me personally, that's not a huge upgrade because I ran the HF8 at like 30% already. I don't need that extra motor output. I don't want to rattle my teeth out while I'm driving. I just want that extra sense of information. The second upgrade, though, is that you get that feedback faster. So the motors are more responsive, meaning that when you get information coming from the sim, going to those motors, you're going to get that information more quickly. And that's very important because if you lock up a tire or if you touch the grass, you want to know that as soon as possible. The faster you know that information, the faster you can respond to it, and the better prepared you can be to deal with that. So for me, looking for that extra bit of information and that extra immersion, getting that more quickly, having the vibrations match up to what I'm seeing on screen more quickly, and those things being synced, is actually quite a nice quality of life improvement in my opinion. The third thing that they've changed, which didn't really feel like an upgrade out of the box, is the material. So now you have this like jersey mesh material, whereas before on the HF8 you actually had this like perforated leather material, and initially the perforated leather material feels more premium. So I was a little disappointed pulling this out of the box and seeing this material. But having driven on it for a while, I can tell you that this is actually a lot better material for one key reason, is that it runs so much cooler. So I run really hot when I drive, I sweat a lot, I even have a fan blowing on me, and that doesn't prevent me from sweating. No matter what clothes I'm wearing, I am sweating while I am sim racing. Maybe I'm just too much of a tryhard, but this jersey material keeps you cooler and comfortable for longer in the sim rig, so you can last longer in those racing sessions without getting as sweaty as before. I actually thought the HF8 haptic pad did a good job already with the perforated leather, but this was a noticeable improvement that I actually was not expecting. I thought it was kind of gimmicky and a way to maybe use some cheaper material, but it does actually make a difference in how comfortable you are racing in this thing. So if you're someone that runs hot, this is definitely a nice improvement on the HF8 Pro. Now, the original HF8, I believe, is at $200 now. The HF8 Pro is at $250. So the question is, are those three key upgrade areas enough to pay the $50? In my opinion, again, the extra power coming out of the motors is not worth that $50, but the more responsive feedback and the cooler driving material are worth that $50. So I think if you're looking at either of these options, those are the two key areas, in my opinion, that you want to weigh out. Overall, I'll tell you that since I have both, the HF8 Pro has taken over as the haptic pad on my sim rig from the HF8. I would still be totally happy running the original HF8, but the HF8 Pro is just a little bit more comfortable for me personally. I was kind of a skeptic of haptic feedback when I got the HF8, and it converted me. And so whether you go with the HF8 or the HF8 Pro, I think you're going to be super happy with adding that extra level of immersion and information to your sim racing experience. If you're interested in either of the haptic pads and you have questions, feel free to add them in the comments below and I'll try to get back to you as quickly as possible. If you have one, the other, or have tried both, also feel free to chime in the comments and help people make a decision as well. Hopefully I've given you enough information here to make a decision on if this is the upgrade that you're looking for to add to your sim racing experience. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please consider liking and subscribing. Again, thank you so much for watching. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.